Donald Trump may sue Joe Biden over his decision to drop out at the very last minute. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former President Donald Trump potentially suing Joe Biden, the Biden administration, somebody over there because of President Joe Biden's decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race at the 0 hour. Listen, the Democratic National Convention is almost here. We're talking about less than 1 month away. They have to have their person and say, all right, we're going to pick this guy. He's going to be the official nominee and the vice president, and they're going to face off against the challenger on the other side. Most of the primaries have already happened in the Democratic Party, and I say 95 minimum to 98% of those who voted in the primary voted for Joe Biden. But here we are, the DNC is almost upon us, and the politicians say, look, don't worry about who you voted for. I know the majority of you want Joe Biden, 98%, 95%, whatever. It doesn't matter. What we're going to do is give you Kamala Harris. Now, some are going to say that Trump is just being petty. Here's an article right here, right? You see what it says. GOP threatened to sue over November ballot if Biden dropped out. Experts call that ridiculous. They'll say things like this, right? But this helps Democrats more than Republicans, in my humble opinion. It protects your vote in the primary. Your vote does matter. Stuff like this makes it look like your vote is irrelevant. That will just demoralize people and prevent them from going out to the polls. So this is a very good thing for both sides, because I wouldn't want to see this on my side either. I would want some lawsuits and whatnot to take place. You mean to tell me I'm going to vote for a guy in the primary and a 98% rate, we all voted for him, and then when it comes time for the nomination, you say, nah, we're not going to do that. Now, some are going to say, oh, he's sick, ABL, give him a break. This guy's been sick for years. What has changed right now in 2024 as far as this man's health? Unless this man about to be deceased, which I hope not. I'm not going to wish it on that guy. Shout out to the YouTube censors out there. I'm not going to wish that on him. But unless it's something like that going on, then nothing has really changed. You knew this guy was in decline for a very long time. Since before he ran in 2020, you knew this day would come when you would need to go to somebody else other than Joe Biden. And the way you've done it, parading this man around there, talking about, I'm not going to drop out. I refuse to leave. We're going to see it through. We're going to win. You did all that to drop out at the very last minute, and you scrambling right now. Is it going to be Kamala Harris? Is it going to be Gavin Newsom? Is it going to be Hillary Clinton? Is it going to be Michelle Obama? You guys have no idea what's going on, how to go forward. What they really want to do is push Kamala Harris onto you. Although I think the majority of you guys on the Democratic side don't want that. Now, before I go any further and get any more triggered, let's look at a news clip here. This will be a little bit more information about what's happening, some context behind a potential lawsuit. And of course, I will link to everything in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
After the Republican National Convention, former President Donald Trump venting clear frustration after President Biden dropped out. Trump with multiple posts on social media, messages late last night, then early this morning saying, quote, now we have to start all over again. A clear indication they had hoped it would be President Biden he was up against.
Now, look, the thing is, when you have a person that is leading all the polls, this is a presumptive nominee, you're going to cater your ads and your campaign strategy to defeating this person. You're going to go to certain places around the country because you know where they're polling. Like, everything that you're doing is to defeat this one person. And then at the 0 hour, you say, nah, it's not going to be him. At a certain point, that could be called fraud. If all of us, for the most part, voted for one guy and then that guy doesn't go on, you got to ask yourself, okay, what's going on?
Against Rachel Scott, up a hill.
24 hours after the political earthquake transformed the race for president, Donald Trump remaining out of sight, venting on social media, still attacking Joe Biden, though Biden is no longer his opponent. Trump's promise for a unifying message after the attempt on his life seems to have gone out the window. The overwhelming message today, frustration. The former president posting, "We are forced to spend time and money on fighting crooked Joe Biden. He polls badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. Now we have to start all over again." Trump posting a flurry of messages, unloading on Biden until 10.
So somebody says it's not over. Tomorrow, crooked Joe Biden is going to wake up and forget that he dropped out of the race today. Biden never had COVID. He is a threat to democracy.
46 p.m.
Who's running that country right now? It's not crooked Joe. He has no idea where he is. If he can't run for office, he can't run for our country.
Last night, and picking up where he left off at 6:05 a.m. this morning with
The Democrats pick a candidate, crooked Joe Biden. He loses the debate badly, then panics. He makes mistake after mistake, is told he can't win, and decided that they pick another candidate, probably Harris. They stole the race from Biden after he won it in the primaries. First, these people are the real threat to democracy. Absolutely correct. 100% correct.
more attacks on Biden, even though by then Harris was his likely opponent.
And then let's go back here because, they like to post stuff and not really read it. It says, it's a new day and Joe Biden doesn't remember quitting the race yesterday. He is demanding his campaign schedule and arranging talks with President Xi of China and Putin of Russia concerning the possible start of World War III. Biden is sharp, quote unquote, sharp, decisive, energetic, angry, and ready to go.
Own it. Democrats, meanwhile, flipping the script, making an issue of Trump's age, just as Trump had done for Biden.
The other side has a nominee that can barely get a sentence out. He's approaching 80. He brings us back to the past.
If you want a nominee who can put Trump's age and fitness in the forefront, Kamala Harris is the person.
At 78, Trump is now the oldest presidential nominee in history. If he is elected, he will be Biden's current age 3 years into his term. In Ohio today, Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, lashing out.
A couple of elite Democrats got in a smoke-filled room and decided to throw Joe Biden overboard. That is not how it works. That is a threat to democracy. My message to Democrats who are disgusted by this process, disgusted by how anti-democratic it is, you are welcome in the Republican Party.
Vance then taking this shot at Vice President Kamala Harris.
If you want to lead this country, you should feel grateful for it. You should feel a sense of gratitude. And I never hear that gratitude come through when I listen to Kamala Harris.
But it turns out that Trump himself was once a supporter of Kamala Harris. He donated $6,000 to her 2014 campaign for re-election as California Attorney General.
I mean, that means nothing, no. Trump, of course, at one point was on the left and he donated to a lot of leftists. He was friends with the Clintons. This is not new information. But if you're not really familiar with what's going on with politics, this would be kind of new to you. Yeah, of course he did back in the day, but he's changed. And the people that he donated to back then loved him. But then when he became a Republican, they hated him. That's how that worked. Hillary Clinton was one of his best friends. Like Hillary and Bill, they used to be at their house in New York. But then when he ran for president, things changed.
Including this check.
Incredible reporting. Rachel Scott with us tonight. Rachel, what are you learning? What concerns the Trump campaign most with this switch with the Democratic ticket? And how is the Trump campaign responding to what appears to be a message from a growing number of Democrats? You had some of them there in the piece that it's now Donald Trump who is the oldest in this race, and now he alone will face that scrutiny over age and mental fitness moving forward.
That's so funny because when we were making the point about Joe Biden being way too old, oh, you're ageist, you're racist, all this, that, and the third. Now they're using their very same arguments. They say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do. They have no morals. They have no real, no moral foundation to stand on. They just say whatever they need to say whenever it's politically expedient. And people like that, in my opinion, are liars and fraudsters, which is why you guys on the Democratic side voted for Joe Biden at a 98% rate to be the nominee to run for the Democrats, and they said, nah, don't worry about that. We're going to pick somebody else for you, and you won't even notice.
Yes, David, and this is now a question that Trump's senior advisors and aides are fully aware that he is now going to have to grapple with. They really wanted it to be President Biden on the Democratic ticket in November, especially given all the questions about his age and mental fitness. But now it is Donald Trump at 78 years old who will be the oldest nominee in U.S. history.
All right, so that's that. So, yeah, shout out to the Trump administration or the Trump campaign, soon to be Trump administration. They're going to destroy Kamala. Look, Kamala is younger than Trump, of course, but Kamala is a bad candidate. And again, as I've said before in previous videos, she ran for president already. She ran for president in 2020. Kamala Harris did, and she performed poorly. she was polling behind Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, Cory Booker, all these people that are irrelevant to any kind of, major political aspiration. They have no chance of becoming the president at all, ever. But yet she polled behind them. So why do you think 4 years later she'll all of a sudden be a great person to run? Especially since the Biden administration was not a very good time. People were suffering. People are suffering right now. The economy's bad. Foreign relations are bad. The border's wide open. Why would anybody vote for her? The people that are going to vote Democrat regardless and don't really care about policy at all are going to vote. You could put a literal dead man in there and they would still vote for him over Trump. So it's not like she's she's better than that. You got to try to get the middle when you're talking about elections. Kamala Harris can't really do that. People that really understand elections and they understand these candidates don't like her. They didn't like her in 2020. They don't like her right now. She's not going to perform well at all. And again, one more time as I close and wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. If I was a Democrat, I'd be upset at my vote being thrown away during the primary. And if they do that to you right now, what are they going to do to you when it comes time for Kamala Harris and whoever administration? It'd be more of the same. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what's happening here? Do you think that Kamala Harris would be a great president or a great person to run? Do you think that it's okay to just do the little switcheroo? You voted for Joe Biden. Don't worry about that. Here's Kamala. It'll be fine. How do you feel about Trump potentially suing over this? Hey, we've invested a bunch of money. We're campaigning all over the country. We've spent millions upon millions of dollars because the people said that Joe Biden will be your opponent. But the politicians say that's not going to be the case. So can we get some reparations for that? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is really crazy what the Democrats have done. And people acting like it's not really a big deal. It's crazy. People have no idea what their rights are. They have no idea their power, and they just accept whatever they want to accept. Again, Democrats, don't just take this lying down. It's not okay for them to do this to you. You might not really care about who's running, but this kind of behavior, the way they're treating you, will continue if you allow it. You're being bullied and you don't even know it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.